And we're live, ladies and gentlemen, on part
Oh,
3 of probably the most depressing and frustrating transfer window as far as West Ham's concerned. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm just like, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
it's not
kind of
exactly
just
pretty, is it?
resigned to our
well,
fate now.
well, I must admit, it has been a transfer window to slit your wrists to, hasn't it? I mean, it's been bloody awful.
Oh, I wouldn't
Yeah,
go
No,
it's
that
not.
far, but
It's
no,
not. It's not been at all impressive, is it? Let's be honest. It's been overly. I think it's even gone to a point where it's beyond disappointing.
yeah. I
yeah,
mean, I'd have had more fun today if I'd sat in the garden and hit myself over the head with a bit of 4x2. To be honest, I mean, it is. Yeah, I cannot describe how awful I think it is. But I did get some info off a contact of mine, which I think people might find interesting. Okay, and obviously I'm not going to name a contact, and there's
yeah,
certain bits I can't say on air, but feeling is Moyes. I'm just going to read my notes. Feeling is Moyes doesn't want anyone this window. He knows he couldn't get what he wanted. He's happy to go to the summer. He feels he can get by until then. It's not Moyes hasn't given a list. He's been working on it since last summer. He's already done the groundwork on the targets he wants. He knows the players aren't available, so he has a list for the summer. Sully wanted a list, so Moyes gave him one. Sully has sort of gone over Moyes' head a bit and gone for one of them now, as he's very worried about the fan reaction, and rightly so. So Nunes was possible for the summer, but Sully, out of desperation, went for it now. Uh, Carr, Moyes doesn't rate him, but said okay if he comes in on loan. Carr, by all accounts, is a Sully pick. Leeds boys was Sully fake bidding. Now that contradicts a bit with some of what Duke said earlier.
mm,
Mm.
In the summer, this is who Moyes wants. He wants Jonathan David, Sar
right,
from Chelsea. He's got a CM lined up along with Jesse Lingard or similar. Striker backup names are already in the press. Patrick Schick and Nunes.
okay,
You know, he's also got a left back lined up. This was just an opinion from my source, but he says he thinks Moyes thought if he could get, and I agree with him. Moyes thought if he could get Jesse Lingard in this transfer window, that'd be enough. We'd be happy with that, which to a point I think many people would be. Unfortunately, though, Moyes has put all his eggs in one basket and it's backfired. But I'm not trying to defend the board or
mm.
Moyes here. I still think Moyes should have gone out and got a couple of squad players.
Well, I'll ask your opinion, boys, on that. Jonathan David, this, that, and the other. He's looking at putting them in the summer. That's all very well and good, but you got to look at it from the players' point of view, and that they're looking at West Ham European competition, um, sixth last season, in the top six this season, pushing for fourth, blah blah blah. Let's just say it all fizzles out and we do finish eighth or ninth. Do you honestly think that half of those players are still going to be interested in coming to West Ham, as well as the fact that Rice might be looking at it and going, "Oh, I don't need this anymore."
Uh, I think Lingard still come
Okay,
because he loves Moisey. I think Deck will want to see those players in, otherwise he'd be off. And
yeah,
uh, and you know but it's still, I'm sure, I'm sure our new part owner would have backed Moyes if he wanted a couple of signings this window. I can't see someone like Kretinsky buying into a club and not wanting to take it forward. That's just my opinion.
mm,
But you know, okay, let's just break it down. If we got Divock Origi and Coletta Carr, for instance,
mm,
okay, Moyes might not fancy him, but if he got him in on as sort of his third or fourth choice centre back, got those two in, we'd have all been relatively happy if he then said, wait for the summer, and he could have got the pair for 22 mil.
Mm.
It's not a huge outlay for two decent squad players. So I get Moyes' thinking. I think it's very risky.
How about yourself,
very
Duke?
risky.
What do you think? Because I mean, I happen to think if we don't finish where we probably should, a lot of those players ain't coming in the summer. I really don't.
I'm just gonna confirm with everything Tom's put in the chat. To be honest with you, it's an absolute shambles. Why go for a list of players that you know are unavailable right now? Doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense to me at all. I mean, listen, we've been screaming for a striker for the last year. We've been screaming for an out-and-out striker for 12 months, and here we are sitting going into the tail end of the season that has promised so much, and there is still plenty to take out of it. Don't get me wrong. But here we are about to turn around and absolutely fit on a season with so much promise. We're currently looking European football, coming up again and starting again in about 6 weeks' time. I think it's 5-6 weeks' time. And as I said to you before, Casey, we're all harping on about the fact that the fixtures are going to come thick and fast for likes of Spurs and the games in hand, etc., and they're going to be playing 2 or 3 times a week. They're going to get knackered. But hang on a minute. So are we? Our season isn't. We're going to have Europa League football coming back, and hopefully we get a fairly satisfactory draw after the knockout playoffs are concluded. And as it's just, I can't get my head around the fact that we're not bringing in
just on that, Duke.
someone
I mean,
for backup.
A little while ago, we had discussions about who would you like to get in the next round of the Europa, and you and I both turned around and said about actually right here, right now, wouldn't really be terribly afraid of Barcelona. How about now?
Yeah, and again, Barcelona have strengthened. They've gone and it looks like Aubameyang's going that way. And here we are without even a recognised striker in the side. Forget that we've got Antonio there, and if we can keep him fit, boys, he's playing on some shit pitches at the minute, and he could end up coming back with a significant injury in the next couple of hours, or in the next couple of weeks, next week, and our season's done. Because we can't play the same way with Jared Bowen up top. I'm sorry, it doesn't work. And just one player coming through the door in the next 2.5 hours. It's going to be 2 hours. That's 2 hours, 15 minutes. If he doesn't, then I'm afraid, as I said earlier, Casey, and as Hammerhead there has just put in the chat, the painful realisation right now that we could be looking at an incredibly toxic London Stadium in the next couple of weeks after the game against Kidderminster. In fact, next Tuesday, in fact, isn't it?
Tuesday 8th, yeah.
We're going to be looking at a serious problem because we know damn well that we're going to riot. It's that simple, and I don't mean that it's going to be a violent kind of situation, we're gonna have our voices are gonna be heard. There's no two ways about it. Our voices will be heard, and sadly, it's going to affect the players. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care if people sit there and turn around and say to me, "No, we're not doing it because of the players." I don't care. We're going to be doing it, and we're going to be putting that toxic atmosphere onto the stadium or into the stadium with our hatred for the board, our hatred right now. Let's be honest, for David Moyes, and it's going to affect the fans. It's going to. You'd be stupid enough. You'd be daft if you think it wouldn't.
What worries me is the bit that was shared on the Addicts WhatsApp group. That's Hammers Chat Addicts for anybody who's listening, not drug addicts or anything like that. I realised when I said it, it sounds awful, doesn't it? But the bowl accounts, Nobes and Rice have tried to contact the board and Moyes to say what the hell's going on. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, if that's correct, then that's quite telling. I think that the captain of the club and the team captain essentially have both gone to the hierarchy to say, what the hell is going on here? Just guys, those of you watching and just to bring it to your attention, it's in the live chat. If you haven't seen it, there's a StreamYard link. If anybody wants to jump on and vent and give your point of view, if you want to jump on for 5 minutes and say what you want to say, help yourself. We'd be more than happy to host you.
Yeah. Yeah, consider it therapy, everybody. Yeah. Breaking news, don't go to bed just yet, Divock. Really, Scott?
Well, I don't know. Listen, if Divock Origi walks through the door, yeah, I think that would be quite a good start. Although, is he injured at the minute?
Don't know.
Yeah. So,
okay, Scott.
what bit's a lie? I'm not sure. What the Mark Noble, Declan Rice bit? I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But if it's true, as I say, if it's true, it's quite a damning indictment on the business.
You would have thought, wouldn't you? The manager would have shared his plans with the two team captains. You know, that because...
Well, you'd like to think so, mate.
Yeah, but if this happens, the fallout, those two are going to have to manage it. He doesn't want them on... he doesn't want them in his face. He wants them on side. Rule 101 of management, get your leaders on side and then do something immensely unpopular. Dead just makes common sense. Oh, Duke, did you get my text about a certain package I sent to you?
You did. I did indeed. We'll hold on to that for a moment.
Okay.
No, we will.
Thing is,
towards the end though. But
thing is with this one,
something to look forward to right now.
I feel so.
Just with this one, it wouldn't surprise me, Chris, if they are possibly running around at the 11th hour to try and get someone in to appease us. But quite frankly, who is left? Because anyone that's a viable target has probably already been snapped up.
Well, they could still get, if they're prepared to pay.
We'll never know. Oh, hang on. No, he's back. He's back.
Internet joy. I know it's down the wire, but they could still get both at a push.
Get both who? You dropped out before you dropped
Collect
the names.
Car and Divock Origi.
Okay.
And in many ways that satisfies me because, okay, they're not what you want going. It might not be what Moyes wants going forward, but they'd be damn good squad players. Better than the squad players we've got at the moment.
Maybe that will end up with, as John says here, Benteke or Phil Jones.
At the moment, I take Paddington Bear.
Right now, I take Benteke and Phil Jones. It strengthens the bench. I'm sorry, and I'm at that point, mate. I'd be happy with Carlton Cole and James Collins walking back through the door at the minute. It's I can't tell you how annoyed I am the fact that we haven't upgraded on the likes of Yarmolenko and Arthur Masuaku.
Oh yeah.
This
This is the thing that annoys me. Surely there must be an upgrade on them.
What, you think there might just possibly be an upgrade on Masuaku? I think it's a bit of a stretch, guys. You know, God, he's awful.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't understand how there's not someone out there that's better than him.
Yeah, every time we watch Masuaku, how many times have we said it at matches, Gatesy? Oh look,
I watch him like this.
He's been turned again exactly the same way every game, time after time. Get past Masuaku in the same way. And you just think, oh, yeah, Masuaku is best watched from a bunker 5 miles away underground when you're blind drunk. I mean, he is
best watched when he's playing for someone else.
Yeah. Against us.
Definitely.
Oh.
I'm just having a little scroll through some of the websites to see is there anything that gives us a little bit of a glimmer of hope, but it's just nothing. The only thing that we're really linked with is the story that Lingard's staying at Man United despite interest from us and Newcastle.
Well, apparently an hour ago, hour and a half ago, as was it Scott? Yeah, there you go. Scott said about Origi. Dharmesh has said on Sky Sports on the transfer centre that it's possible. It's possible, but there might be a twist with the Divock Origi thing. West Ham's possibly.
The thing is, we'd need to get him down to London, do a medical, all the paperwork, and the clock has been ticking since the 1st of Jan, and here we are at 10 to 9 p.m. I mean, it's not going to happen. I really can't see it.
New one coming out on News Now. Rob.
Yeah.
From verywestham.com. As it emerges that West Ham's bungled attempts to bring in Darwin Núñez have stuttered to a halt. The arrival of Luis Diaz Anfield surely opens the door wider for Divock Origi's.
But exactly as John mentions there, as I said it earlier, at the minute, Origi's got an injury. I don't know the severity of the injury and all the rest of it, but he is presently injured.
I mean, listen, I'd even bring him in for 2 weeks down the line, Rob. It's better than nothing right now.
Yeah,
listen, we've just turned around and said we'll take Benteke and Phil Jones. I'd take a half fit Divock Origi right now, knowing in maybe in 2 or 3 weeks' time he's back to full fitness. And and let's be honest, I personally feel it's an upgrade on Mikel Antonio. So, what do you do?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I'd agree, Duke. I mean, a potentially fit Origi or a Yarmolenko. Well, I can wait 2 weeks for a month for Origi to be fit if it means he's an alternative to Yarmolenko coming on. Yeah.
Oh, hello. What's this? We bid 62 million. Is that right? I didn't think we went as high as that, did we?
I don't know what to say on it, mate, to be honest with you.
Yeah. In answer to that question, John, I guess it depends upon the severity of the injury. I mean, I don't know how far he is in his convalescence and rehabilitation and whatever. And I guess that there are ways of doing it.
You see it all the time. The players that are injured still make the transfers. You do see it. It's not unheard of that players that are out injured. So it doesn't. For me, it doesn't. The whole injury thing, we actually pass a medical. I get what you're saying, but you see it all the time that this happens.
And let's face it, Jack Wiltshire passed the medical. Andy Carroll passed the medical. Who was the other guy who was always injured?
Well, apparently, I read somewhere that when Stuart Robson signed for West Ham in the 80s, he was on the treatment table. He was literally on the treatment table when John Lyall signed him. That's the story I heard.
Says a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
No.
Who was the player who was always injured? Broke his leg.
Andy Carroll.
No, before him, one of Kirbysley's signings.
Oh, Kieran Dyer.
That's it, Kieran Dyer.
Oh. Oh, God. His internet's about as good as Arthur Masuaku is at defending.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
Demba
great.
Ba did he had a bad knee injury when he walked through the door, didn't he?
Do you remember
Yeah.
Lazio signing Gazza and he was on crutches after doing his ACL on the FA
Yep.
Cup final?
FA Cup final. So I don't think that was quite a mic drop. I think it was just his internet dropping out, Tom.
I was
Boom.
indeed, Tom, yeah. I remember watching the Notts Forest Spurs final at university. We watched it in the bar. I remember the first half pretty well, but after that, it's all just a blur, I'm afraid.
Was it the alcohol was starting to take an impact? Was it?
I don't know whether it was around sort of the 9th or 10th pint I sort of started to lose focus. But yeah, it was. I mean, we were students. We played football in the morning. We used to at college. We had the drama students versus the rest of the world. So I was in the rest of the world side, and we had shower, and then we just hit the bar, got it all set up on the big screen, and God, I was hammered. The number of times I've watched an FA Cup final at college, quite remember the first half reasonably well. The second half, not at all, not a chance. Happy days, sigh.
What do you boys think on their treatment of Lingard right now at Man United?
For a guy that's been there, 7 years of age, I think it's absolutely appalling.
Yeah. I think it's disgraceful. But do you think what is happening with it's Mason Greenwood, isn't it, who's got himself in trouble?
Yeah.
Do you think
Allegedly.
what's happening with allegedly? Yeah, and as we rightly said earlier this morning, innocent until proven guilty.
Yep.
But with that in the background, do you think that might have affected their thinking that they might actually need Lingard?
Possibly, but I think only fractionally. I don't know whether it makes a massive difference. He's going to leave in the summer, one way or another. I just think that from a point of view of someone that, I mean, Jesse Lingard has never ever agitated for a move. Jesse Lingard is a Manchester United fan through and through. He's been a fantastic servant to the football club, and I'd have liked to have thought that they'd have done right by him. I can understand, though, from the PR point of view, the fallout from if he came to us and yada yada yada. I do think that from a purely sort of point of view of this is someone that has been with you all that time, come through the ranks and served you well, scored winning goal in an FA Cup final for you. So I think they could have done so much better, but unfortunately, football is big business, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, from what I understand, Lingard wanted to come to us, not Newcastle, and that might have played into their decision. No, he's going nowhere.
He had that opportunity, Steve, back in August, and he chose not to. So,
True.
and that's where I stand on it. He could have, and again, everyone can shoot me down and throw sticks at me and everything else. He had that opportunity back in August, and he chose not to. So I don't agree with what Manchester United are doing with him right now, and I understand what they're doing with him with regards to us. You don't want to strengthen a team that could finish above you. You wouldn't. That's just not the done thing. But he's kind of the maker of his own demise and his own situation right now, because he could have had out. He could have had out in August last year. He chose
Yeah.
not to. So really, essentially, he's the what is it, the something of his own destiny.
But do you not? But do you not sort of like, if you put yourself in his shoes, and like I say, he's a fan of the club, and his hero in Cristiano Ronaldo just walked through the door. He's got the opportunity to working with A, his hero, and B, one of the all-time greats of football.
Yeah, it'd be great to spend a couple of hours a day training with him, but you ain't going to be playing, and he's proved that.
Oh yeah, listen. Hindsight being perfect vision, we know.
No, but even then, mate, even then, you should have known. They've just spent £70-odd million on Jadon Sancho. You've got, or at the time before we knew what had come out, one of the best up and coming English youngsters in the game for a long time in Mason Greenwood.
Mm-hmm.
And they've just re-signed Cristiano Ronaldo. Where do you think, as Jesse Lingard, that you didn't fit in before, Evelyn Stiver? Where do you think you fit in now? At that moment in time, where do you think you were going to fit in then? Like, I don't get it. I honestly. So when I say that, he is he's his own worst enemy in this whole situation. That this didn't have to be like this for him. For me, he's brought this upon himself.
Yeah, partly, but I get what Gatesy says. I mean, if it was right, I could only put it in from when I was younger. If I had ever been good enough to play for West Ham, and they'd sent me out on loan, and the loan club wanted to keep me, or I had the option of coming back and potentially playing with Trevor Brooking, for instance, I'd have come back to West Ham. Because Trevor Brooking was the man as far as I was concerned when I was younger. And I get where Lingard's coming from. Yeah, I can't believe Ollie didn't say to him, yes, I'm going to play you. Yes, I'm going to give you time.
Well, the talk is that that's exactly what he said, and it didn't come to pass.
No. But you can't leave Ronaldo out for Lingard.
Yeah, no, from a commercial point of view, it's not going to happen, is it? Just looking at this one here, chaps, as you can see, I've put it on the screen. Direct meeting between Liverpool and Fulham for Fabio Carvalho is still ongoing. Negotiations on price and structure of the deal. It's a race against time. Again, another player that we were tentatively linked with back in the summer, as I recollect. Didn't happen, and now he's going on to pastures new.
I think that deal hinges on Nico Williams going the other way on loan.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, because I heard he was mentioned with Bournemouth in mind, who have done some decent business, it has to be said, in this window. Scott Parker is not mucking about.
I'll be honest with you. I'd love to be a Bournemouth fan right now. I'd love to be in a Bournemouth fan's shoes, sitting third in the league at the minute in the Championship. And they've strengthened with 4 or 5 players this window. I'll be buzzing if I was supporting Scott Parker and his boys right now, and I'm going to be. I think I'll keep a little close eye on their results and how those players fit in and what they do going forward. Because if they do now go out and get Cantwell from Norwich, as Elliot was alluding to earlier, if they manage to do that, then this could be a whole different scenario.
Just got something here. I'm just going to respond to it. We might get a little guest on maybe if he responds to this. But my brother's just put something on a little group chat. Three names that he mentions in comparison to current squad members, and I'd just like your opinions on it. And you guys in the live chat can get involved in this as well. Please do. Is Donny van der Beek better than Alex Král?
Yes.
Steve?
Yeah.
Okay. Is Nat Phillips better than Issa Diop?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd have to go, yeah.
Okay. Is Wout Weghorst better than Yarmolenko?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll leave that there.
Yeah, but listen, Rob, we're discussing this as I said earlier. I'm not overly bothered that they've not gone out and strengthened the starting lineup right now. Right now, at this point, as I said earlier on, I would take Phil Jones and I would take Christian Benteke right now. For the simple fact is, we're at a point where
I remember, Tom. You did.
we're sitting here and now I'm begging for Phil Jones to come in on loan. I'm begging for Benteke to come in on loan just to do something.
And that's how low we've sunk, isn't it? Because let's be
and
honest,
that's what
on the
I'm saying,
1st of
Rob.
Jan, you'd have never considered them.
But we shouldn't be in. This is the thing. We just shouldn't be in this position. We shouldn't be in the position where we're saying, oh, I want Phil Jones and Benteke.
Just a second.
We should be in a position where we're looking, oh, yeah, we've added 2 really good players or 2 decent squad players.
Even if there had been loan signings, it still freshens it up, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, but I just think Moyes' thinking here is very, very blinkered. And that's one thing. That's one criticism I will have about Moyes. He's quite blinkered, and he's going to get stick over this.
Oh, I think you're going to get stick over your internet, mate.
I am indeed. Yeah. Has Moyes earned enough grace for us to give him a?
He'll be back in a minute. There we go. He's back.
This is driving me mad quietly. Yeah. Can we give him a pass because of what he's achieved?
I can only answer that question once the final game's been played. I got to be honest.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I think that if we got to the end of the season and we finished, let's say we finished 6th again, which I don't think is unacceptable. Let's say we finished 6th, got to say quarters, semi-finals at least of the Europa, and maybe the quarters of the FA Cup.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, okay, we got away with it. I think if we tumble down the league, and like I say, for me, the doomsday scenario is Michail Antonio getting an injury on international duty, and we have no one that can replace him. That would be, for me, the scenario that would present itself. And everyone would sit there, and if it was to happen, everyone would sit there and go, well, you knew it was a risk, you knew what you were doing, you knew the chance you was taking, and you have to take that one on the chin.
I agree.
So I don't know whether he gets like I say, difficult to say whether he gets a pass. Obviously, his record up to this point and all the rest of it does give him a little bit of leeway, a little bit of wiggle room, but it's not infinite. And like I say, it's dependent upon the business that is done in or not done in this transfer window. We can only say whether it was a success or failure when we've played the 38th game in the Premier League. That's my opinion.
I'm sitting here and I've just received a text message from a person I haven't spoken to. I say text message, WhatsApp.
Mm-hmm.
Not WhatsApp, Facebook. I haven't spoken to him in probably Actually, I lie. He popped in here to see me not so long ago. I haven't spoken to him in months. Spud fan. The amount of stick I'm getting right now is they've just let out. Yeah. They've just let go £102 million worth of players out on loan. That's not including the Dele Alli debacle of an offer deal thing. And yet they've still managed to bring, and this is only on loan. It's not like they've sold anyone. And we know the situation of Spurs' finances aren't great at the minute. Tom, did he just mention that name? He's just mentioned that name, Rob.
That one. He had his feet on back to front.
I think he can be the next big thing. It's all right.
That boy's had more clubs than Tiger Woods.
Yep. And he decided to kidnap himself, which I thought was amusing.
Yes.
Their finances are shot to shit. They've just let £102 million worth of players go out on loan, and they've just received practically a zero transfer fee for Dele Alli. They've bought in, the Safetovic or whatever his name is, the Swedish fella, I think. Bought him in on loan from Juventus. They've got Bentancur. They've signed in. And yet here we are, a team that were, and I say were because I now don't, honestly, and I sit here absolutely dejected with my next statement. I don't think we can compete with what's about to happen. I don't think we're going to be able to compete with the top 4, top 6 situation. I think we're going to finish 7th or 8th now because of this, if not, probably even 10th. And we're not even going to have a trophy to show for it. I remember start of the season, I turned around and said, I'd take 10th and a trophy. I'd take 12th and a trophy. And I'm sitting here thinking, we're going to finish 10th. And we're not going to have nothing to show for what was an absolutely banging first half of the season.
Well, like I say, I think we need to wait until the end of the season. Like I say, am I happy with this transfer window? Of course I'm not. We know that we need to strengthen. We know that we've got deficiencies in the squad right now, let alone if we pick up any injuries between now and the end of the season, which I think if we go deep in any of the cup competitions that we're still involved in, becomes even more likely. But like I say, I think that because obviously Moyes has done what he has, we have to kind of go to an extent. Okay, let's see where it takes us. But he's got no wiggle room now. Like I say, if we finish 8th or 9th, it's all on him.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, we have got to get a result against what.
Just gonna share this because in answer to that particular question, he has just arrived at Ibrox to sign his new contract. You still there, Steve? Oh, it's gone all quiet. His internet's...
I'm here.
Oh, dear. Dear. Is this the worst transfer window that you can remember?
Yeah.
As far as a West Ham fan's concerned?
Yeah, listen, it's awful, mate. It's so poor right now. As I said, when you look at the situation of, when you look at the situation that we find ourselves in, that we're even considering using the phrase "get Benteke and Phil Jones in," and at least it's an upgrade to the bench. It makes the signings of the likes of, as the guy said earlier, Savio and whatnot, Mido, Benny McCarthy, Ilan, Wellington Paulista. the list goes on. I'd take a signing like that right now just to have someone come through the door, and then we can moan about it further down the line, or what an amazing signing that turned out to be. This is just absolute. This is a shit show, Rob. An absolute shit show.
Yeah.
I've just had another note from my contacts, and Moyes' thinking, by all accounts, is the players he could get in aren't there.
Do they sort of are they sabotaging your internet?
Obviously they are. I tell you what, boys, because my internet is so bad tonight, and I've got an early start tomorrow, I'm going to leave you fine gentlemen to it. But I do want to sign off by saying what a bloody awful transfer window this has been. You know, I assume you're going to the Watford match, Gatesy?
Yes. Yeah, unless anything strange happens, I will be there.
What, like us signing a player between now and 11 o'clock? That would be fairly strange.
No, you know,
it's Watford at home. So I'll tell you now, that is going to be toxic as fuck tomorrow.
That's on Tuesday week, isn't
oh,
it?
no,
It's a week tomorrow.
It's Tuesday week. So yeah,
it's a week tomorrow.
That's going to be toxic as fuck.
Oh yeah,
that's going to be awful. I'm watching that,
especially if they turn us over.
Oh.
Can you imagine that?
I've got a feeling that Kidderminster are going to be rubbing their hands together right now, because we're going to be struggling. We're going to struggle to field the team, boys. When I don't mean struggle to field the team, what I mean is struggle to field the team, knowing with everything that's going to be coming forward. The fact that Antonio's just coming off the back of probably going to end up playing 3 games for Jamaica.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just keeping my fingers crossed on that one. I really am. You just know it's an accident waiting to happen. I mean, we've kind of got away with it this season, haven't we? We've done quite well to get to January the 31st, and he's not had a spell out with an injury, but you know it's a matter of time.
I'm just looking at what Tom said there at the bottom. We can't have it being toxic. Unfortunately, it's not going to be toxic towards the players, Tom. It's going to be toxic towards the board, but that will filter down. It can't not. You're inside would you consider it a bowl? And that atmosphere will start toxic. It will start toxic in front of that board, in front of that owner's area of the stadium. And it will spread. And it will spread all the way around. And the players are going to know. Listen, you've said it yourself earlier, you two, that Declan Rice and Mark Noble have kind of been hammering on the door a little bit as to what the fuck is going on and why haven't we? And if it's going to be, I think we're you know, the players are going to know why we're being toxic. Let's not dick around. The players are going to know, and the players are going to understand, and the players are going to probably be on side with it. But when you've got boos ringing around the stadium, not aimed at the players on the pitch, but aimed at that director's box and that owner's area, it's going to have an effect on what's going on the pitch.
But would it be aimed? Would it be aimed at the board? Because I'm not being funny. We've already discussed it, and I think David Moyes is equally culpable.
Well, yeah, all right, you aim it at Moyes as well, but it's still going to be, it's still going to affect. And unfortunately, you know, listen, I hope I'm proved wrong. I hope I'm proved wrong. I just don't understand how a club of our stature, our positioning, our place in the league and pushing on for what we're pushing on for, haven't done any business. And I mean any business at all.
Not even a loan, that's the thing, isn't it?
Well,
crazy.
Anyway, boys,
we've not even sent any players out today, have we? From what
Harrison Ashby.
Has he gone? Because I knew that he was wanted to go.
Alves?
Alves went permanent deal, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe so. And he signed. The thing is, he was a Moyes signing. You know, he's not played a game in the first team, and he's straight out with it within a year. It's like that's great judgment.
Well, yeah. Anyway, boys, I'm going to leave you to it. I'm going
Cheers,
to.
Steve.
Yeah, cheers. Take care, lads, and come on, you irons. And you never know. We've still got an hour and 40 minutes to go.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. There might be a
But-
deal that we're not aware of, and it all goes bang, done, and we go, where did that come from? Doubt
But
it.
I think-
But
Oh, yeah, I doubt it hugely. Take care, lads. I'll see you Saturday, by the way. Are you going to Dukes with the Kidderminster game?
should be.
Okay.
So
Okay,
Should
we'll
be
look
good
forward to seeing.
afternoon if
is it a
people
12
that
o'clock
come- I don't know.
kickoff?
12,
Yeah, 12 o'clock.
Saturday, I believe.
Yeah,
Is
I've
it
got.
12?
I know I've got.
12 then.
I've got to disappear a little bit lively at the final whistle if I do make it, but I should be there.
Yeah, we'll be there. So, okay, see you Saturday, lads. Take care.
All right, take care now.
Cheers. Bye.
Take it easy, buddy. Bye.
All good. And that was Steve. Well, so as I say, we got how long? 1 hour and 40 minutes. This could be the longest 1 hour and 40 minutes of our life. If we are we going to stick with it to the end? What do you think? We're just going to sort of?
I mean, listen.
Is it just
See how
cyber?
it
It's
goes
if
in
you
the next
scroll
half
if you
hour or
scroll
so,
up
and if it looks like it's going away.
scroll up in the live chat. It's I've already put it up there, mate. Just scroll back if you want to jump on. Same as anybody else in the live chat. Luke, Tom, any of you boys want to jump on and say your piece? You're more than welcome. I'll tell you what on that because I don't know how far. Oh, for Christ's sakes! You thought I'd know how to do this by now, wouldn't you, Duke? Boom. There you go. If anybody wants to jump on, there's the link. As I say, if there's something you want to get off your chest, if you just want to jump on for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. What's everyone's favourite window? What are we talking? Play school here, Tom? Are we talking, round window, square window? Probably younger people don't have a clue
Stained
what I'm
glass
talking about, do
window.
they, Duke?
No, probably
Stained
not, mate,
glass,
to be
little
fair.
bit of the old. I can't say it's really something I've got a particular preference over, Tom. I'll tell you what, I'll go stained glass window as well because it's a little bit funky, a little bit decorative, whatever. Sharky's gone double glazing. Have you got any more footballing facts, Duke?
I suppose I could have a bit of a Google. I suppose I'm kind of just feeling very,
Flat.
very disheartened, Rob. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Matty Longstaff is about to join
Mansfield, I
Town,
saw.
suppose.
Yeah,
Hmm.
madness.
Stephen Sestignon is joining Plymouth on loan after his proposed move to Hull broke down. Sariki Dembele has joined Bournemouth from Peterborough for an undisclosed fee. So that's what, 5 now? Ramsey's obviously there. And Sunderland defender Tom Flanagan is set to join League One rivals Shrewsbury Town in a permanent deal. Right, let's have a little bit of a Google, see if I can find some rubbish.
No, well, Cyber's joined us. How you doing, Cyber? Hello. Oh,
Be careful with that background noise,
yeah.
Cyber. You might end
Turn
up
that off
getting
in the background, Cyber. We don't want a copyright strike, mate. I'm just going to mute your mic. There you go. Just muted his mic whilst he sorts all that out. Tom says he wants some trivia.
I'm on it.
I'll tell you what. I've got one here. Hang on, let's just unmute his mic and just see if he's sorted out the background noise. Have you sorted out the background noise, Cyber?
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yep, it's all gone. All tidied up. Here's one for you. Since 1982, this is just a little factoid. Since 1982, at least one Bayern Munich player has played in every World Cup final.
Are you going to go? No.
Hey, what?
There's the boy.
Here he is.
Well, it was his
Right,
eye
right,
anyway.
lads.
What do you think of the transfer window, Cyber? Are you happy, or are you not so happy like the rest of us? I'm guessing I know the answer. Oh, his internet's frozen. Oh dear. Oh, now we've lost his visual. What have you got for me, Duke? Oh,
All right, here we go then. Let's have a look. Which player?
yep.
Well, that doesn't give me what I wanted. Give me a minute. No. Yeah, well, that's no shit. Let me scroll down, see if that shows me a little bit more. There we go. Which player
Yep.
holds the record for the most amount of appearances?
Yeah.
First team appearances. Actually, no, not even first team appearances, including youth, England schoolboys, England under 23s, and then obviously first team appearances.
It's not Peter Shilton, is it?
It is.
Is it?
He's played over 1,398 competitive games.
Tom got it.
How many goals do you reckon he scored?
One.
It was.
Here's. I'll
But
tell you what.
those nigh on 1,400 appearances come across a 32-year career.
Mad. Crazy.
Insane, isn't it?
Where's the one for you? Just about on goalkeepers. Did you know Alex Stepney in 1975 got a bit of an injury that's a bit unusual? He dislocated his jaw while shouting at his defenders.
Ow.
Just shouting at his defenders, and he dislocated his jaw. You know, what can I say? What can I say? There was another little goalkeeping fact that I saw here. Let me see if I can find it. Hang on. Where is it? You'll like this one. Here. Trying to find it. It was about. Do you remember the German goalkeeper Hans-Jörg Butt?
Yeah.
Hang on. Let me see if I can find it. It was about him. He has here it is. Goalkeeper Hans-Jörg Butt scored 3 Champions League goals, all penalties for different clubs, and they were all against Juventus.
Oh, he must love playing against them.
In 2000, he scored against Edwin van der Sar in the Juventus goal for Hamburg during a 4-4 Champions League game. He then joined Bayer Leverkusen on a free transfer in 2001 and appeared in every game up to and including the final, and he scored a penalty in a 3-1 home win against Juventus in the second group stage. And then in 2009, he was then aged 35, and he scored another goal against Juventus, this time against Gianluigi Buffon. in a 4-1 win while playing for Bayern Munich. There you go. What's this one? Who was the keeper that was bitten by a dog?
Well, Harold, there was a goalkeeper who was bitten by a dog. Yes. Yes, he ran on the pitch and bit him.
Don't know that one. Here's a good one for you.
Gacy, you having a bit of a Google? I can see you looking down to your keyboard.
No. Here's one for you. Little factoid. Neither Manchester United nor Liverpool, two of the greatest names. Well, as far as league titles are concerned, they are the two greatest names in English football. But neither Manchester United nor Liverpool in competitive football have ever beaten Gillingham.
Have they ever played Gillingham?
Yes. They've never beaten them. Crazy, isn't it? Ruffle hole. Oh, God. Tom. Oh, my word. Oh, no.
But that's where we've got to. This is what the club have done to us today, Rob.
Yeah, this is what we're reduced to.
Harold is the oldest active top. Harold is the oldest active player, registered player.
Right now?
Playing. Yes.
Right now?
Yes.
What, in England or in the world, or what we're talking?
In the world.
Oh!
This was at
Kazuyoshi Marua.
It is?
Kazuyoshi Marua.
55, nearly 55.
Yeah. Is it the fourth tier of Japanese football?
That's mad.
Yeah. I think, if I remember rightly, he played against England before Euro 96. That's how far he goes back. Madness. I'm just going to have a little look on Sky Sports website. Let's have a look. Is there any developments? Have we signed Darwin Núñez? Have Manchester United relented? What have we got? Well, I've got Aaron Ramsey giving the old thumbs up as he's going in to do the bizzo at Ibrox. What else have we got? We've got, looks like Dele Alli is virtually an Everton player. Here's one with West Ham connections. Do you remember Domingos Quina?
Yes, Watford.
It looks like he's joined Barnsley on loan. He's currently on loan at Fulham, but that deal's about to be terminated. And he's now going to go to Barnsley.
Wow.
But everything else, there's no real connection with West Ham. Nothing at all. Emerick Aubameyang. He's going to Barcelona on a free. Did you hear this? It's a free transfer.
Yes.
But they're going to save 25 million on the wages. So they're literally just waving him out the door. Cyber's asking you, did he eat this chocolate or did you do it? Oh, you got it.
Yeah, Logan did, mate. Logan enjoyed his chocolate.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything going to happen myself. I really don't. No, do you want another little factoid?
This is very disappointing.
Here's one for you, right? Did you know that in 1908, Arsenal very nearly merged with Fulham, Chelsea, or Tottenham?
Who did?
Arsenal. In 1908, they were in financial trouble. The likes of Chelsea and Tottenham wanted to absorb the club, whilst in 1910, Fulham chairman Sir Henry Norris suggested merging the Woolwich-based club with his West London side, but that fell through. In the end, it was Rangers that bought 2 shares in the Gunners for £1 each. Not a lot, really, but the two sides formed an alliance and held friendlies between each other, and it saved Arsenal from the unthinkable. Isn't that
Well,
amazing?
Madness, mate.
Do you know Aberdeen Stadium, Pittodrie?
Mm.
Do you know what that translates to in Gaelic? Roughly.
No, go on.
Shit heap. The rough translation of Pittodrie from Gaelic to English is shit heap. Oh, Chelsea signing Dembele. Apparently, we was offered him. Apparently,
Yeah, I don't
we
know
was
how much
offered
to
him.
make of that, to be honest with you.
He's had a few injuries, though, hasn't he? Would you have taken him?
Yeah, I would have done, but again, it would have had to break our. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Isn't it?
In answer to that question, no. Probably should be that we'll be at the pub in Lewisham that Duke is the main man at. Which, if you don't know where it is, Sharky, and if you're anywhere in the vicinity, where's the banner?
You've got it.
There it is. That's where you want to go. Is it 12 o'clock kickoff, Duke?
Let me have a quick butcher's, my man.
I'm sure it's a 12 kickoff. According to Fabrizio Romano, Dele Alli has just signed his contract with Everton. That was 4 minutes ago. Real Madrid.
12:30 kickoff, Rob.
Wow. Real Madrid have turned down Everton's approaches for Luka Jovic, so they could have had 3 signings. Jesus, and this geezer's only been in 24 hours or so. How is this possible? How
gave
is
him a
this
lift.
possible? Fucking hell. Honestly. Would you have taken Tompkins as he isn't getting games at Palace? Ooh. Possibly till the end of the season. Don't know if I'd have signed him on any longer term deal than that. What about yourself, Duke?
Yeah, I mean, there's that kind of romantic idea of him coming back. You know, started with us. But I'd have him back. It'd be, when you consider that I think he's probably better than, in my opinion, better than Dawson and Diop.
He's got a few injuries in the last few years, hasn't he?
Yeah, but again, I still
It's
think
the only thing.
even with one leg, he's still better than both the other two.
So. Rangers have confirmed the loan signing of Ramsey, so that is done. Loan signing to the end of the season. Aaron Ramsey is now a Rangers player.
Madness.
That does look an awfully impressive stadium from the outside, I've got to say. Ibrox. It's on my bucket list.
Yeah, I'd like to go up there.
We'll make a date of it one day. We'll sort something out. We'll have a full Shrine lads weekend in Glasgow. What could possibly go wrong?
Plenty.
Deep fried Mars bars, the missus has just said.
How about no?
What, deep fried Mars bars
No.
or Glasgow in general?
Well, both. We can't go to the game if we're not in Glasgow. So I think that kind of falls out one by the wayside. To be honest.
Apparently, they deep fry everything there. I think I've even seen deep fried kebabs as an option.
But the guys,
that's a good idea, Sharky. Hopefully, our coach doesn't explode.
They used to deep fry Cadbury's cream eggs, Rob.
Ooh. Actually, I saw something a little while ago. It was with Al Murray and Oh, what's the Scottish comedian? Fred. Oh, crumbs. What's his name? Someone in the chat help me out. Fred something or other. Scottish comedian. And it was basically the pair of them were going around Scotland, and they were basically sort of it was a program about sort of why do the Scots hate the English. And they went through a list of things. No, not. Don't think it was Fred Dynish. He's the steeplejack, isn't he? Fred Astaire.
Yeah.
Fred Dibner. No, come on. Can we just end it as no one's going to sign in an hour? You never know. You never know, Cyber. We live in hope, but that hope is dwindling. I can't remember the bloody comedian's name. I'm sure it was Fred. Scottish comedian, went around with Al Murray. Flintoff. Jesus Christ. He's not Scottish, Tom. He's not Scottish. Oh dear. Another one saying Flintstone. Sharky, behave yourself. Fred Flintstone. Oh, for God's sake. God's sake. Have you got any more factoids for me, old son?
Fred West.
Fred West. Okay. Fred West. Great. You're joining in as well. Kevin Bridges. No, not Kevin Bridges. Oh dear. So I am good. Is that you, Budge? Is that you, Budge? Hang on.
It's all right. I'll tell you what, Budge. Just ask Rob if he's all right. Don't, I'm fine, mate. Don't worry about it.
Oh, savage. Hang on.
Fucking rude, isn't
Let
it?
me. Hold on. I'll see if I can. There he is.
I'm
Right.
going to get a slap. He keeps telling people I'm going to give free drinks. What's this?
Check your phone, Budge. Check your phone.
Transfer window
What's
has
this?
ended in
Unlimited
West.
drinks.
Yeah, Simon's going to get himself a slap. He keeps on.
Oh.
Fred West gave him the idea. He's still with patios. He gave him the ideas for that in Brookside, I think, didn't he?
Sorry.
That was he was was he not on the is he not on the information panel for Brookside when he said about burying what was his name under the patio in Brookside? Keep up, Rob. Come on, mate. You're boring me now.
I've never seen an episode of Brookside in my life, so I've got no idea. You're talking to the wrong person. You are
Anna
talking
Friel
to the wrong person.
Killed her dad and buried him in the buried him under the patio. Yeah.
Like I say, Anna Friel, I'm aware of her work.
We've got Bert and Ernie in the chat. It's great.
We have. Well, hang on.
Trevor there.
Well,
Trevor was buried under the patio by Mandy, yeah. Mandy,
I'll tell you what, hang on. I'll put it in the live
Mandy
chat again if they want to jump on.
Am I right in thinking, was it Mandy and Beth Jordache? I'm pretty sure it was.
I'm completely lost. Like I say, I've never seen an episode of Brookside in my life.
I remember Anna Friel had the first lesbian kiss on Brookside as well.
I'd have been starting Krall up to this point anyway, but the fact that he hasn't, I'm not too sure he's got much of a long-term future at the club, Cyber, I've got to say. But
I think he's got any future left at the club, is he?
Ashton is crying that we haven't got no one.
He's absolutely raving, yeah.
What, Dean Ashton?
Yeah, he's absolutely tearing into the balls.
But how much of it is the ball and how much of it is Moyes?
I'm laying 50% each, to be honest with you, Rob, right now. I'm laying 50%.
Here's one for you. Did you know that John Terry scored more Premier League goals for Chelsea than Andres Iniesta scored La Liga goals for Barcelona? Would you have believed that?
No, is the answer.
Yeah. John Terry got 42, Iniesta got 35.
Wow.
Budgie!
Good evening, gentlemen. How are we?
Hello, Anson.
I feel like a turkey that's caught Bernard Matthews grinning at him with this transfer deadline day.
I know it's just not happening, is it? It's just not happening. And we get all these stories about we're linked with him and we're linked with him.
Yeah.
And we don't get anything. Don't get a bloody thing. Not a dicky bird. And the most frustrating thing is you know, even Burnley can sign a fucking striker. Sorry, excuse me swearing.
No,
My
no, no.
apologies.
Yes, listen, we're well past 9 o'clock, and we've had
Yeah,
a
oh,
few
yeah,
of them
too.
go, so don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
True, true. But yeah, I mean, even Burnley can sign a striker. I mean, what's going on? You
The
know,
striker that we were linked with tentatively.
I know. And did you see that? Hang on, I'm just turning my camera. Hopefully it works. There we go. Did you see that City picked up who was it? Alvarez.
Julian Alvarez, yeah, another player that
I
we
know.
were linked with.
We were linked with about 3 months ago.
Yeah,
It's just crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. And I think,
lunacy.
yeah, we were linked with him, and arguably the best squad in the country, or, you know, the club with the best squad in the country, have gone and got him. So, you know, if we were actually, you know, if that's a genuine link, then, you know, obviously our ambitions are there, but negotiations need a lot of work, I think.
Yeah. Just seeing that one there, it looks like Ousmane Dembele is staying at Barcelona. Manchester United not even interested. Chelsea have never opened talks. Tottenham have never been close. No interest in an Arsenal swap. No club agreement with Paris Saint-Germain. So Ousmane Dembele stays at Camp Nou.
That sounds
There's
promising,
a lot of money
actually.
involved in that, though, Rob. I think that's the problem.
Maybe he's on his way to London Stadium. Maybe he's on his way to a Rush Green rushed medical.
Yeah, you know, and I'll have a pint of whatever it is you're drinking.
I'm very much tongue in cheek with that one. Don't worry about that.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah, that's not happening. Not happening at all. Honestly.
Yeah, it's it doesn't look like anything's going to happen really now, does it? I mean, what we got? 2.5 hours or so.
Now here's one that's just caught my attention, and I'll explain why. 5 minutes ago, Jonathan Panzo is undergoing a medical at Nottingham Forest ahead of a permanent move from Dijon. The ex-England under-21 centre-back is expected to cost them in the region of 1.5 billion. Why have I homed in on that one? I'll tell you why. About 2 years ago, I did a job in Charlton, and the gentleman there turned around to me at the end of what I was there to do in his property, and said to me, "Do you follow football?" I said, "Oh yeah, just a bit." And he said, "Oh, my my nephew, he plays football." I was like, "Really?" I said, "Who's?" And I said, "What's his name?" And he said, "Jonathan Panzo." And Jonathan Panzo was in one of the England underage squads, under 17s, 18s, whatever, that got to the European Championship final. And I think if I remember rightly, he was a teammate of Phil Foden and Rhian Brewster and that sort of vintage. And he turned around. He said, "Wait there a minute." He went away and he came back and he gave me one of his nephew's England shirts. I think it was from one of the European Championships, all a proper shirt, match worn and all the rest of it. And he just went, "Here you go, mate."
Nice.
Gave it to me. I've got it upstairs. I gave it to my daughter.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice indeed.
Cool.
So it was the only reason why I sort of like saw the name and I thought, "Oh, hang on, I know that name," and that's the only reason why. So who's that's just jumped? Oh, hang on, we've got someone else that's just turned up as well. Look at this, we've got the pair of them on.
Oh look, hold up! Can you swap us over? Can you swap us over? I'm getting jittery.
Okay.
Thank you. Hello, Ernie. How are you, son?
Good morning, chap. How are you, son?
Are you
I thought I'd bring you a bit of sunshine because you're not having much over there, are you? Nothing to brighten the day up.
And
what's the temperature doing over there, Kieran?
What's that, Gates?
What's the temperature doing over there? Where's the old temperature gauge?
Yeah, it's about 28, and it's early morning yet, so it's sunny nearly 8 o'clock.
Oh, is that all?
Sunny 28. It'll probably get up to about 32 today.
I feel so sorry for you. Oh no, I feel so sorry for him.
I know. It gets really hot during the day, mate. You wouldn't like it.
I'm thinking about getting in touch with WaterAid for him. You know, it's just, it's not good.
He's definitely not in Colchester, Sharky. Where exactly are you, Kieran? Just for Sharky's information, if he doesn't already know.
I'm in Brisbane, which is in the state of Queensland, on the east coast of Australia. So we're in a sort of subtropical climate. You know, when you go further north, it's really tropical. It gets really disgracefully hot there. So yeah, we're in the middle of it, and we have very hot summers and quite mild winters. So
Yeah, my
You're breaking up a
sister-in-law's
bit.
near you. I think I told you, didn't I? My sister-in-law's in Brisbane.
oh, that's right. Yeah, she is.
Yeah. We will get there one day. I've not since
Yeah,
she
you
moved
do.
there. We've not had the opportunity to. Well, we've probably had the opportunity, but it's just for one reason or another, it's just not come to fruition. But
It's a long
Shark-
old trip, Rob. You know, it's a long old
yeah, we probably go there for a couple of weeks. I don't think sort of like you could go there for a long weekend. Oh, look who else has turned up! Look here! Look who's turned
Luke
up!
Legend. Lukey Legend.
Hey, we're loving like it.
Evening,
Who's ready?
ladies. How are we? Have we signed
Oh.
Mbappe yet? Or shall I go to bed?
Is that?
Yeah.
Is that
better
sort of
than
like-
you, that's for sure.
are you talking about Dave Mbappe? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, he's probably a right back, isn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right back in the changing rooms. You're as thoroughly pissed off with it as we are, Luke.
Mate, 1989, what was it, 1986, I think. I've been a fan of West Ham, so roll with the punches, don't you now?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the West
Yeah,
Ham way, isn't it?
it's just rubbish. How can you, yeah, I've just been talking to Peach, so it's, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'll be able to anything more to the conversation than more or added sarcasm.
But
That's-
fine,
that's
'cause
why I've
all
let
we've
you
been
in.
doing.
It's just what? How can we not have where? How? Who? Any? What?
Anyone,
Anyone?
someone.
Yeah.
You know, we're
Yeah.
a team in Europe. You know, please. We play in London. We're in front of 62,000 every home game. We must be attractive to certain players.
Yeah.
I was one of them at the beginning, Rob, that I didn't expect much from this window at all. So I'm not that surprised. But I still thought in the last few days, and I said it right at the beginning, it'll be down to the end, but I still thought we'd squeeze in a couple of players. And near the end, that, you know, there might not be top players, but there might be cover, you know, just to help us to get to the end of the season. And not even that's happened. So I'm going, wow, that is surprising. And
Yeah.
and the only way you can, I know there's going to be a backlash after this for Moyes, especially on social media. He's going to get slaughtered. The board's going to get slaughtered. Everyone's going to be tarred with the same brush. But Moyes' defence will be, well, you won't be able to judge him until we see our final position at the end of the season in the table. Now, if he can still pull off 6, then everyone will be patting him on the back saying, well, that might have been a good move, saving that money to the summer again. Or if he finished 8th out of Europe, well, then he really seriously get a backlash because he missed an opportunity to solidify us in Europe for another season. So I think that he's making a massive gamble for me, taking a massive gamble to try and say that. He done it with Lingard by not being in the striker, and Lingard worked. And it helped us get 6th spot. Now this time, I believe he had his eggs in one basket with Lingard. I don't think he ever thought he was going to bring the striker. I thought he really expected to get Lingard at the death, and that would cover that problem again. And he hasn't. And now I think he might have shot himself in the foot. But I say, until we see where we end up at the end of the season, it's really hard to really go at him yet.
But he's taking a hell of a risk, not just with our league position and progression in cups.
With Rice and Bowen.
But Rice and Bowen, predominantly Rice. It's
yes.
Yeah, it's a hell of a risk. Hell of a risk.
Do you know what? On the Bowen situation, earlier on this evening, I had a pretty urgent phone call to go and collect all my tools from the site I was working at because the company have gone under, and the threat was that if there are any tools left on site tomorrow, they're getting scooped up by the people that they're owed money. So I went back down there to go and get them. But in the meantime, before I got this call, I popped into the pub because I was supposed to be playing darts, and the landlord of the pub and 3 or 4 of the regulars are all Liverpool fans. And, you know, we regularly chat about football generally, you know. And I asked them how they felt about the rumours about Jarrod Bowen. And every one of them said, we don't believe it. We don't believe that we're even interested in him. And now they've gone and signed, who is it they've just signed?
Who, Liverpool?
Oh, God. Yeah.
Luis Diaz.
Diaz, yes. And now they've gone and signed Diaz, and they're saying, well, why would we need Bowen?
Oh yeah, I didn't expect Bowen to win that budget. But
No. But the thing is, you know, like with all the chat that we've heard about Bowen to Liverpool, you know, Liverpool are putting in this bid, and Liverpool are interested in this and that. I've just spoken to near enough half a dozen Liverpool fans, and none of them are aware of any bids. None of them are aware of any club interest in him.
Just talk,
you know,
it
is just paper talk. So,
yeah,
you know, I mean, the thing is, that, these guys, they're all similarly to myself and you guys all on screen. You know, they look at the Liverpool fan casts and stuff, you know, and, you know, they said, you know, none of them are really talking about Bowen. You know, 1 or 2 of them may have said that, you know, he's looking very good and he's the kind of player that they would hope would be brought in. But there has been no firm bid from Liverpool, and there's been no interest registered, according to them.
Just
so, Duke's gone off. He's probably gone to change his crop.
His his internet is playing silly whatsits.
Oh yeah.
To be honest with you, boys, we're what? An hour and 5 remaining there or thereabouts of this transfer window, and I cannot see anything happening as far as
I believe that now.
No, I can't.
It's not happening. We're not signing no one. I think that's already been decided. We're not getting anyone. I've lost hope in that. You know, a couple of players at the death. I've not even got that hope anymore. And even the likes of Sean Whetstone and X are saying we're not signing anyone. So I tend to believe it now because there's nothing seems to. You know, there's no.
I think Coletta Carr and what's his name? The striker that we were looking at.
Origi?
No. Oh no.
Lewandowski.
He's got a name similar to Alvarez, like that kind of. It's like a South American sounding. Nunes, yes, that's him. Thank you. Apart from those two, you know, I mean, I think they've been the closest so far from what I'm hearing. They've been the closest to any deals being tabled, didn't they? I mean, they accepted an offer for Nunes, didn't they?
They rejected it.
Coletta Carr is a tap-in if you want it. It's a tap-in. All you got to do is pay the money.
GSP, from what I've heard, Moyes doesn't fancy him.
You know, it's crazy. Just buy him. If you want him, buy him. They don't. They want to loan him, try him out, and then decide at the end of the season. That's a tap-in.
Moyes doesn't want him, no, Kieran. That's what I've heard. Moyes doesn't want him.
That's what I'm saying, Rob. He doesn't want him because it's a tap-in. So there you go. So I can't see it happening.
Yeah. You know that season ticket holder that goes to West Ham every week. He just goes to the football match, watches the game, supports the players, doesn't read anything about the management, the ownership, or anything else, and just goes and watches the game. I reckon he's quite a happy boy right now. God damn, I envy that guy.
Yeah.
Just see what turns up on the night. That's it.
Yeah. Well, like I say, we're getting to the final straight now, and I don't think I'm convinced. If put it this way, I think I'm going to wrap this up in the next few minutes, boys. Because we're just spinning our wheels here, and I don't think we're going anywhere. But I think I would be absolutely amazed. I'm going to go to bed when this finishes, and I'm not going to look at my phone, and I'm not going to sort of do whatever. If I get up tomorrow morning and find West Ham signed a player, any player, even on a loan, a free transfer, a player that was out of contract, anything, Diego Costa, anything, I would be absolutely astonished.
Diego Maradona, even.
Gatesy, just between us guys, I've been on the phone with an in the know, and I promise you, Mbappe is signing. I promise you.
Dave Mbappe.
Well, you can sleep well after that news. You can sleep well, Robert. You'll be fine.
No. What you've misheard that, Luke. What they said was David Moyes. There's nothing to do with Mbappe. And anyway, so yes, I'm going to have to go and have a shower in a minute because I've only literally been in 20 minutes. So, and I've been invited to go on to Tissue's stream a bit later on as well. So, need to have a shower and that.
Tell him I said hello. I haven't caught up with him in a little while, but tell him I said hello.
Well, yeah, if you're about, I'm sure because what he's saying is that he's going to have, a number of people popping in and. Just saying a few words, and then. So if you want to, I'll pass the link. I'll pass the link over to you.
I'll be completely honest with you, Budge. I've been doing this on and off since 9:30 this morning. I've had an absolute gutful of it, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, we started off. I'll be honest. Duke and I started off with a bit of hope, a bit of optimism. Darwin Núñez was bubbling away in the background, and we were sort of sitting there thinking, something could be happening here. But slowly but surely, as it is, the clock's wound on. We're getting resigned to our fate.
I'm just that I know.
You don't even want to look at your phone anymore.
Yeah.
All right,
so like you look for about the 500th time, and you go, maybe this is a bit of news about a signing. It's not for us.
I was listening to TalkSport earlier, and they went, we're going to be going over to West Ham in a moment. Brilliant. They went over to somebody who was talking about West Ham. He went, they're not really doing anything at the moment. I was like, for fuck's sake.
We're going to Rush Green, and there's someone standing there going, so what's happening at Rush Green?
We're changing the nets on the practice goals, and we've got to do new lines on the under-23 pitch. Mate, God.
David, security hut, just making himself a cup of tea.
Yeah. And Doreen's transferred from the concession stand to the canteen.
Yeah. She's making Dave the security guard a bacon sandwich.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Instead of hot dogs at £7.50 a charge.
That's about the best we can get. 59 minutes. We're now within the last hour.
Okay.
4 weeks of build up. It's all over. Fuck me.
I know.
Right.
I know. It's like dating a princess only to find out that she's going to turn into a an old Shrek-looking thing.
No budgies.
Turn into a 19-year-old David Moyes.
No, it's like supporting West Ham and finding out it's still West Ham.
Fair point. Right, I'm going to wrap it up there, chaps.
Okay. Gatesy, thank you for inviting us on, mate.
No problem at all. Thanks for.
Bye, Luke.
Luke's already buggered off. He didn't even wait to hit end broadcast. He just.
I know, you know what I mean. Yeah, he's just gone. But it's lovely to see you. And Kieran, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, mate.
Are you going on Tissues? Are you going on
Titch? I'm going to pop on Titch as well.
All right. I may see you there or in the green room.
I've had a gutful of transfer talk today, so I'm going to finish this and I'm going to bed.
All right, Rob, nice to see you, mate.
See you later, boys.
Care, buddy.
Thanks for coming on. Do appreciate it. And the guys who've been watching and putting up with this load of old nonsense, Thanks for watching,
Yeah.
guys. Stay safe.
Bye-bye.
Come on.